Okay, so this is going to be I guess, a two-part review sheet. This is part one, and you'll probably get another one next week. That should be more than enough. So the first two questions, I don't know how you have to use a calculator, so it's really hard not to, really hard to get this wrong. So, but you just still have to know order of operations. So we have to know that we're going to do 45 divided by 15 first, right? Um, and then that's going to give us 3, and then plus 4, right? And then I'm just going to write this again, and 3 plus 4 is 7. I'm going to remove the parentheses, and I eventually get negative 35 minus 7, which is negative 42. Likewise here, we'll do this one first. 8 minus and 16 times 2 is 32, and then plus 5, and do it from left to right. So we're going to do 8 minus 32 first, which is going to be negative 24, and then plus 5, which is going to be negative 19. Okay, so again, you have a calculator, but you still need to know order of operations. This one's actually translated. There's going to be Sam translating here. So my suggestion to you is to always just translate it as it is, and then if you need to make any changes, you make the changes. So 4 is just 4. Less than means, and I shouldn't write like that, so less than means subtraction. And then 3 is 3 times the number, we get that particular expression. But because the word is less than, we have to make a little adjustment to our expression, and that's going to become 3n minus 4. Quotient implies division, and we're dividing x over 4, and then it's going to say less 5. Now, this is less, not less than, so there's no switch necessary. 3 is 3 times y, so here's 3 times y. We don't need that dot there, but if you want, you can put it there. So 3y less than 8 is written like this, but because, again, it's less than, we're going to make a little adjustment, and we're going to write 8 minus 3y. The sum of 5 and c, so sum is in addition, so we're adding 5 and c, and then we're dividing it by 7. So 5c, so 5 plus c divided by 7. Twice means double, or times, 2 times something, and what are we multiplying? 2 times the sum of a number and 9. So the sum of a number and 9 is this, but we're doubling that. So that's when we need the parentheses, right? Because we need to add those two first and then double it. Okay. 7 decrease from a number, so 7 is 7. Decrease is subtraction, and number is n. Decrease from is another turnaround word, so we're going to switch that to n minus 7. Factor the GCF. So we're looking for the biggest number that goes into 4, 8, and 12. So you can use the latter method. The biggest number is going to be 4. 4 goes to 8 2 times, or 2n, by the way. And then minus 4 goes into 12 3 times. So our final answer is 4, 2n minus 3. And if you do this treaty properly, we get the original expression. So again, this is another part of your test that you really can't get anything wrong. Again, if you want to do the ladder method, you can. 12k, 20m, 16h. They don't share any letters, but the numbers, there's what number they all share. They share the 4. So 4 goes in 12 3 times, the 3k. 4 goes to 25 times, 5m. And 4 goes 16h, 4h times. So this is not your answer. Your answer is actually this, right? That's because if you leave it like this, you get 0 points. So I need the actual expression. For this one, we can pull out the a, and notice that they both have an a inside, right? Both terms have an a, so a can be pulled out too. So a goes in 24 3 times. I already have an a, but I need a b, right? So, and then a goes into 8 1 time, and there's already an a, so we don't need to put another a. So my final answer looks like this: 8a, 3b, minus 1. So if you actually do this treaty properly, 8 times 3 is 24, check, and AB is already here, AB. And then 8 times 1 is 8, And 8 times 1 is also 1. So we got 8a. So we end up having the original expression. 56kp plus 49k, they do share a factor here, right? So what do they share together? They share the number 7. And they also share letter k. So what times 7k is 56kp? Well, 7 goes into 56 8 times. The k is already there. We don't need it, but we do need a p. Plus 7 times what's 49? It's 7. Do we need a k? No, because we already have one here. So my final answer is 7k times 8p plus 7. Use the distributive property to simplify. So now we're going to use the distributive property. Just distributive property. So negative times a negative is a positive. We get 15m. Negative times a negative is a positive again. 35w. 8 times 12 is 96 km. Plus 8 times 3 is 24 ak. Remember, you can put the letters in alphabetical order. Minus 8 times 7 is 56, and we get kw. 7 times 3/4, well, we can put this 7 over 1 if you like, right? So 7 times 3 is 21 over 4. I'd leave it like this. I don't need to change it to a mixed number. And then, so we did this, and now we got to do that. And 7 times 2.12 is going to be 14. 7 times 12 is 84. Can we combine these two? No, we can't. So that's pretty much it. Here, negative times a positive is a negative, and 4 times 5, 6 is going to be, you can use your calculator, right? You're going to reduce it, or if you just multiply, you get 20 over 6k. Then negative times a negative is a positive, and you end up getting, I know you're going to put in your calculator, so you're going to get, let's see. This can be reduced, it depends, so you're going to need to look at your multiple choice. So if it's, instead of 20 over 6, they can actually show you 10 over 3. Negative 10 over 3k, negative 10 over 3k plus 3c. So if the multiple choice is a simplified version, you need to make sure that you simplified 20 over 6 to that. Or then again, they might even show you 3 1/3 plus 3c, which is the mixed number format, right? Where am I? So this one, so we're going to multiply these two, and then these two. 3/5 times 10 is going to be 6m. And then positive times a negative is a negative. And 3/5 times 20 is 4. It's going to be 12. Can we combine these two? No, we're done. Negative times a positive is a negative. 2/3 times 1/2 is going to be 2 over 6. A. And then negative times a negative is going to be a positive. And 2/3. So I did this. And 2/3 times 9 is going to be 6. A positive. And then negative times a positive is going to be a negative, and 2/3 times 4/5 y is going to be 8 over 15y. Again, the only thing that you might see is your multiple choice instead of 2, 6 might say 1/3 a plus 6 minus 8 over 15y. Remember, we can't combine any of these because they're all not like terms, right? They're different. But that would have been your final answer. Combine like terms. So again, we got to remove the parentheses. So again, if you like, you can imagine there's a 1. So negative times a positive is a negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. And then we have negative and negative is a positive. And negative times a positive is a negative. So we have these. Can we combine? Yeah, we can combine this guy and this guy. 8 and 7, they're both positive, so it's just 15m. And then 12 and minus 7 is positive 5. You get negative 6x here. Negative positive times a negative. Positive times a negative gives you negative 12. And then this gives you negative 25x. And then negative and a negative is just positive 60. Combine like terms, yeah, you combine this guy with this guy. So you got a negative 6, negative 25, which gives you negative 31x. And then negative 12 plus 60 is going to give us plus 48. Right? Again, make sure, I think the key thing here is you correctly identifying the term. Okay, so if it's a negative or a positive, so just always be careful. It always helps if you identify by circling, right, the term with the sign preceding it. So that makes it much easier. Here, so I can circle this guy. I can circle this guy. I can circle this guy with a different color and this guy with a different color. So I know those two are the same, and these other two, the one in pink, are the same. But in the 9m actually does nothing. So 12y minus 23y, those two are the same, minus 9, minus 8, and plus 9m. And combine these two, and I'm going to get something like 11, negative 11y. Now combine these two, negative 9 and negative 8 is negative 17, and then plus 9m. 2/3 of 9 is going to be 6m. 2/3 of 12 is going to be 8k. And then the plus 15, right? Remember, the distributive property is happening here and here only, not with the 15 that's outside the parentheses. Combine like terms, yeah, I can combine this guy and this guy. Both positive, 6m plus 15m is 21m minus 8k. Yeah, next. Distributive property always has to be done because we want to remove the parentheses, right? So we're going to do the distributive property 3 times. Negative 1/4 and 3/5 is going to be 3/20 m. Right? Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. Negative 1/4 times 2 is going to be 2/4, or if you want to write 1/2, that's fine. I'm going to leave it 2/4 for now. And then plus negative 1/4 times w. Remember, there's a 1 over here. So first of all, right, so it's going to be a negative times a positive, which is a negative. 1/4 times 1 is negative 1/4, and don't forget the w. And then minus 7. Can we combine anything? Yeah, I can combine this guy with this guy. So I'm going to put it negative 320m minus 7m. I'm putting the like terms together. Plus 2/4, which I'm going to change to a half, minus 1/4 w. So let's combine these two guys here, because that's the only thing we have to do. Negative 320m minus 7 is going to be negative 7 and 3/20m plus a half minus 1/4 w. Again, distributive property, and then combine like terms. So half of 10 is 5k, half of 8 is 4, and then minus 12k. Combine this guy with this guy. So 5k minus net 12k is negative 7k, and then plus 4. Well, I feel like this is super easy. Here's some perimeter problems. We have a triangle. So I'm going to actually have a rectangle. It's always nice if you draw it out. The length is 3.6y plus 5.2. And the width is 5.4y minus 1. We want to find the perimeter. So to find the perimeter, we know that this side is also 3.6y plus 5.2. And this side is also 5.4y minus 1. So we have all our sides. We'll write an expression, right? Because we're going to find perimeter, we're adding all the sides. So it's going to get 3.6y plus 5.2, right? That side. Then we have the side at the bottom. So it's another plus 3.6y plus 5.2. Not put in parentheses, okay? And then plus, we have this side over here, 5.4y minus 1. And then plus another 5.4y minus 1, which is this other side over here. So now we can combine everything. So, and I'm really doing this the long way, but I need to show you that now we have to remove the parentheses, and remove the parentheses, everybody, because they're all, the number outside is always, it's a positive 1. It comes out exactly the same. So plus 5.4y minus 1. That's not multiplication, sorry. All right, so I'm going to circle this 5.4y, and then plus 5.4y. So we need to add all those. So 3.6 plus 3.6 plus 5.4 plus 5.4, it's going to be 918y. Let me see, carried on, yeah, 18y. And then 5.2 plus 5.2 is 10.4. 10.4 minus 1 is 9.4, minus 1 again is 8.4, so plus 8.4. So the perimeter of that rectangle is represented by this expression. Okay. I choose decimals. So again, here I have a triangle. I don't know what a triangle looks like, but I'm just gonna. So this is 2.4a plus 7k. This one is 8.3a plus 2.5k. And the last side is 4a plus 3.2k. So we gotta add all the sides to find the perimeter of this triangle. So 2.4a plus 7k plus 8.3a plus 2.5k and plus the last side, which is 4a, sorry, plus 3.2k. So I'm going to add them. I'm going to remove the parentheses, pretend there's a 1 here, and I'm going to distribute it properly, right? So it's just 1 times the number inside, and 1 times the number inside. So because the 1 is positive, nothing's going to change, so we are going to get the same exact thing. Plus 2.5 plus 4a plus 3.2k. So we need to add a few things here. So this a with this a with this a. They're all positive, thankfully. And let's see if I can do this in my head. I can get 10.7, 12.7. No, 14.7. That's what I'm getting. Because that's 10.7 plus 4, 14.7, 8. Plus the k's. I have a 7k over here and a 3.2k, so that's going to give me 10.25. And then the last term, plus 2.5, and that gets added to no one because there's nobody else like him to combine. Square. And that's a t. Square has a side length of 5k plus 9. Well, if you know what a square looks like, you know that if one side is 5k plus 9, all the other sides are 5k plus 9, right? Because they're all a square, so all the sides are the same. So my expression is going to be 5k plus 9. Oops. All right, 5k plus 9. I want to find the perimeter, so I'm going to add that plus 5k plus 9. Again, I want to insist on putting the parentheses. Plus 5k plus 9, k plus 9, and then plus 5k plus 9. So we're adding all those sides. So again, pretend there's a 1, 1, 1, 1. Do the distribute property, and you're going to see that everything comes out the same. It's just now a matter of adding all the like terms. So you get this k with the 5k with the plus 5k with the plus 5k. So that gives me a total of 20k. And the plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 is going to give me 36. So the expression of my square is represented by that. 20k plus 36. That was easy. A rectangle, so this, I would circle 7 and 8 because you'll definitely see this. So here is, it's almost the same as the ones we just did. So here's a rectangle. And again, it's not to scale, I don't know. But I know this is the length, 7y plus 5, and this is 2y plus 2. Which means this guy is 2y plus 2, which means this guy is 7y plus 5. So the first thing says, write an expression to represent the perimeter. So I gotta add all 4 sides. Alright, so we're gonna do the same thing we did in the previous problem. So 7y plus 5 plus 7y plus 5 plus 2y plus 2 plus 2y plus 2. Now I gotta add those, right? I gotta add all these. I could have put the parentheses, I'm gonna put the parentheses. And then you're going to do the distributive property, and when you do the distributive property, it all comes out exactly the same. So now I get to add them. I'm going to add this 7y with this 7y with this 2y with this 2y. They're all positive, so it makes life much easier. So I get 14y, 16, 18y. Then I'm going to do 5 plus 5, which is 10, plus 2 plus 2. So the answer to part A is this, 18y plus 4. If you leave it like this big, unsimplified, not simplest form, you won't get any points. I need to see that, and I need to see this right here. So the perimeter of this rectangle is represented by the expression 18y plus 4. Now, the second thing you're going to do is, well, I know it's 18y plus 4, but what happens when that y is 4 right here? So I get to substitute, so I'm going to write 18 times 4, and then plus 4, right? So I replace my y with 4. 18 times 4 is 72, and then I have to add 4. The perimeter of this rectangle is 76 units, and I don't know what units they're using. It doesn't matter. 8. Again, same question. Just for you to practice a little bit. So another rectangle. This is 2p plus 8, which means this is 2p plus 8. And it says that the width is 5p minus 1, which makes this 5p minus 1. So we got to add all the like terms again. So again, you're going to show work. This is probably a part 2 question. So showing your work means I'm going to show that I'm going to add 5p minus 1 plus 5p minus 1 plus 2p plus 8 plus 2p plus 8. And you should have put this in parentheses. Right? So what happens when we put a 1 and we multiply everything? Everything comes out the same because the number outside is positive. Plus 2p plus 8. 2p plus 8. So we add all the p's. 5p with 5p with 2p with 2p, all positive, so that gives me 14p. Then we have negative 1, which is negative 2, plus 8, which is 6 positive, and then plus 8, which is 14. So that's the expression that represents the perimeter. Now I'm going to take that expression, bring it over here, and I'll do part 2. So 14 plus 4 is my expression. I'm going to replace this p with the number 7. So I'm going to get 14 times 7 plus 14. Use your calculator. 14 times 7, I don't know, it's 98. And then plus 14, it looks like this is 112 units. Inches, centimeters, we don't know, so we just write units. Okay. So we have an expression here that says 12m minus 4. Our job is to figure out which of these 4, this one, this one, this one, or this one, has the same, it's written differently, but means 12m minus 4. So, and you got to explain. Let's do the first one. So is 2 times 6m parentheses minus 7 the same thing as 12 minus 14? Well, let's do the distributive property here. 2 times 6 is 12m. Positive times a negative is a negative, and 2 times 7 is 14. Look at that. I can then write here that this one and this one are equivalent. Why? Because I did the distributive property, and after I did the distributive property, I got the same result, which is 12m minus 14. So that's what you would write. Second one here, let's see. Let me combine like terms. So 10m is a minus 2m. So 10m minus 2m is actually 8m. And 7 plus 7 is positive 14. So again, you can write how you combine the 10m minus 2m, and that gave you 8m, and then that 7, the constant, and this 7, with the other constant you added, and you got 14. And is this the same thing as this? No, it's not, right? It's not nowhere near 12m minus 14. So this one's good, this one is no. Negative 2m, is this anywhere, does this look anywhere close to this? No, you can say that. First of all, this is, the m is negative, it's negative 2m. This one has 12m. The coefficients are completely different. One is positive, the other one is negative. And plus, this guy has 12m minus 14. There's a second part of it. There's a second part to it. So this is an expression with one term, and this is an expression with two terms. So all that you can write. How about this last one? Is negative 14 plus 12m the same thing as 12 minus 14? Well, yes, it is. So look at 12m. Remember when I asked you to circle when we combine like terms? I always ask you to circle that and the term before it. So on 12m, there's a plus sign over here, right? There's an invisible. There's a plus sign there. And then the minus 14 would be the other term. Now, imagine, remember I keep telling you about these are rocks. So if I were to lift this rock right here, move it to the front. When we move it to the front, I would get negative 14, and then the 12m will come to the back. Plus 12m, by the way. So is this the same thing as this? Yes, it is. Only they are they're switched. The order is switched, right? You got to really be careful how you switch them. Okay. So it has to be negative 14 plus 12m. Nothing else would work. So if you wrote 14, for example, if you wrote 14 minus 12m, that would have been completely wrong. That's it. Oh, yeah, one more. Well, it's the same thing here. Which of these following expressions is equivalent to negative 20k minus 10? So we gotta work this out. So this is a positive times a negative, which is negative 20k. So far, so good. Positive times a negative is a negative, and 5 times 3 is 15. Is this anywhere? Does it look like that? Well, sort of. The first term does, right? They're both negative 20k, but the last number, one is negative 15, the other one is negative 10. So this is a no. Negative 30. How does this even look like negative 20k minus 10? First of all, whoever wrote negative 30 combined these two, right? They did negative 20k minus 10, and they thought it was equal to negative 30. Right? Are you saying? No, it's not, because this is a constant. It's a plain old number, and this one has a variable, has a coefficient, plus it has also a constant. So this has two terms, and this has one term as well. So they're nowhere near the same. Let's combine like terms. 18k with negative 38k. That gives me negative 20k. So far, so good. And then negative 12 plus 2 gives me negative 10. So does this, when I combine like terms, does this have the same value as this? Yes, it does. This is a good thing. This one actually works. And the last one, 10 minus 20k. Is that the same thing as negative 20k minus 10? Well, let's look at the first expression. So the original expression is negative 20k minus 10. So let me circle the two parts. It's made up of this part, and it's made up of this part. So if I brought that to the front, it'd be negative 10. And if I took this guy and took it to the back, it'd be negative 20k. So it's negative 10 and negative 20k, the same thing as this expression? No, it's not, because this is missing a subtraction sign. So this is also a no. So the only expression that was equivalent was this one right here. Okay. Wow. That seemed very short. And that's that.